Good morning, Malibu. You're like, okay, I guess you're gonna count. Are you gonna totally like do some counting? Here we go. I'm gonna tell you a story about Mule Shoe Baby. And you're like, oh shit, he's always talking about this. What the fuck is Mule Shoe, dude? I don't know, dude. I'm gonna tell you a story. Man, I got all kinds of stories. You know, they say there's, I think it was Mark Twain. He said there's 2 days that matter. The day you were born and the day you realized, why, nigga? You're like, oh shit. Why can't he just watch TMZ and update his Facebook and put salad pictures online? Holy shit. Why is he always talking about serious shit? And doesn't he know that? Oh, I got a story, guys. You're like, you got a story? I bet you it's about Mule Shoe, Texas. Where the fuck is that? All right. You know, it's a real interesting story. You know, they always... You know, I dated this girl once, beautiful girl, and she worked in the ER, in the hospital. And every day she'd come home, she would tell me these stories. I'm like, holy shit, now I know why. Like Hollywood, they always produce like legal or medical dramas because there's so much shit going on there. All right, here you go, just so you know I'm not totally like bullshitting you. Look at that. Look at this. Boom. Case number 9355, baby. Look at that. 2015. You're like, that's so long ago. What is that? Oh, that's my request for jury. I paid $30. All right, guys. Here's the deal. I'm going to tell you kind of how the civil system works, because this is hashtag MRA. And you're like, I don't care about MRA shit. These are the people that I'm going to interview or cross-examine and talk about 2503 Rice Monkey, baby. Going to start with Tina Ricconis, and then Gail, Benny, Luke, and then Fred and Ruth, Donna, Stacy Armstrong, Gene Sheets, Debbie Gallman, Lindsay, Todd Newberry, Kyle Sheets. You're like, holy shit, is he the doctor? I bet you he's going to talk about custody and HIPAA. And then I'm going to show you shit. I'm going to show you what it looks like to get a ruled out letter. I know what it's like to get this. You're like, holy shit, is he showing me a request for a removal of what the fuck? I bet you this is going to get juicy because his CPS letter was ruled out. What the fuck? How did we go from beautiful children, and how the fuck did we go from here? Is he going to keep singing these fucking songs, or is he going to get something done? I don't know either, but he's going to tell the story of Mule Shoe, baby! He's going to tell the story of how I had a jury trial. Funny story, dude. This is really crazy. I had a jury trial. I'm not a lawyer. I'm a mortgage guy. I used to be before my business failed. Can you hear me, niggas? Can you hear me, niggas? Can you hear me? If a man has an issue with the custody problem, it's a civil matter. However, if a woman has the same exact issue, reports, it could become a criminal. Oh, hashtag MRA shit. It could be considered buenos, essay. You're like, what the fuck is Texas 2503? What the fuck is 10? And that's, you know, just, it's the normal shit, you know, ex-wife, you know, she wants to be an ex-wife. But every girl can go cunt. And this is the story of cunt. And when the cunts hire people and the cunts get their family involved, you're like, okay, just cut to the chase and give me the drill. I'm going to tell you the story that's going to make you have shrills, because holy shit, did you believe that a woman can walk into... All right, here's the deal. We're going to talk all kinds of things. Texas 2503. We're going to talk about the civil system. We're going to talk about how experts and jury trials and the thing is okay. I got to show you this. This is just real important. Okay, here it is. Here I am. I'm in my man bun. Took some days off from my mortgage company that I ran. I built that company for 10 years. Took me forever to grow it. Anybody who's grown a company from nothing knows that, to make a company go the first 2 years, well, most companies, they don't last. Well, I lasted 3 years and then 4 years and then 5 years and then 7 and 8 and every year, and then boom, my ex-wife, we got divorced, fine, that's okay. Divorces are all common. This is not about my ex-wife. This is about the civil system. And this is about men's rights. And now my case happened in a little funny town called Muleshoe. But what happens in Muleshoe happens in San Diego, happens in Houston, Los Angeles, Denver. It's everywhere. In fact, there's a documentary out right now called the Red Pill documentary. And it's called the Red Pill because it's talking about men's rights and how men's rights are laughed at. And like, what the fuck is an MRA? Well, I'm going to show you an MRA. Why am I going to show you an MRA? Because, well, I'm inspired by a guy named Emmett Till. Before I tell you Emmett Till, let me show you this. Did you know? Is he going to talk about Jews too? Probably. I'll talk about Jews. But did you know that a woman can walk in and say her stated desire as related to this legal action was to reduce my ex-husband's visitation time with his kids and allow them to participate in extracurricular activities without the fear of being there. All right, what my ex-wife basically said in writing to an expert, this guy right here, she basically said, hey, I'm really just trying to remove his access so we could do shit on the weekends. And it'd be really convenient if we didn't have to mess with this guy. Well, that's my ex-wife and she's an ex-wife, but we have 2 beautiful kids. And you know how kids, they're young, they just go with their mom. And, I have a beautiful son and he obviously, defers to his mom because he's a kid. So, same thing with my daughter. But the reason why this story is important, the reason why I'm putting it online is because I want you to know that your ex-wife, a woman, whatever a woman wants to say about a man in a civil and criminal case, that shit's going to fly, even when it's false. I mean, I'm going on 2 years. I haven't seen my kids in 2 years because my ex-wife decided to hire a lawyer. And she said very clearly, she said this to the attorney, to the PhD. She goes, her stated desire was to reduce my ex-husband's visitation time with the kids and allow them to participate in extracurricular activities. Well, legally, most people are like, well, shut the fuck up. There's Texas 2503. Texas 2503, you can Google it. It talks about interference with child custody. And in fact, if you take them out of state lines, you get your family to do it. Those are fucking felonies. But what I've learned is Texas 2503 is never enforced. So here you go. You have a court system, and I'm speaking about the court systems in general. The court systems they're there to protect women. And whatever a woman wants to say about a man, he will spend the next 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 10 years, 15 years. Not just him, but the kids will too. And so when we talk about hashtag MRA, I think a lot of times there's the narrative like, cry me guys. Oh, these guys they're not liking the patriarchal. I mean, just Google or go on Twitter and hashtag, feminism. And notice that there's this attitude of like, oh my goodness, this MRA is so fucking dumb. But really? Nah, dude. I'm going to show you this story. I'm going to show you how a woman can just decide one day, I'm going to just reduce this guy's access altogether. And that's just being a cunt. That's just being an ex-wife. But what's malicious and what I think is criminal, well, Texas 2503 is in the criminal code. What I think is criminal is how a woman can do that in the civil system. And I want to shine light on feminism has become the new Marxism. I want to shine a light on how women use the civil system to punish ex-wives. And here, and you might be thinking, fuck this Fibonacci guy. I don't give a fuck about this guy. I don't care about Muleshoe. I don't care about anything. Well, let me say this. If you're a man, or maybe you have a son, maybe your son's a coach, or maybe your son's a teacher, maybe your son's maybe he runs a mortgage company, maybe you just have a son. This case is important because I want you to know when a woman can point to your son and say, let me show you let me just make up a lot of bullshit about him. That shit will fly. So for example, like let's say that you work at a high school and a female teacher just doesn't like you. Let's just say, maybe a coworker doesn't like you. I mean, that happens, right? Did you know that a woman can use the civil system or the criminal system, point a finger of scorn, of accusation at you, and then from that point forward, you will spend the next 6 months or maybe 6 years fighting bogus allegations. And here's the worst part. The civil system as it exists now is designed to protect women at the expense of men. You're like, all right, well, show it to me, you fucking nigger. Well, I will. Here you go. Oh yeah, this is funny. This is actually a funny story. Because, okay, how it works is like when a woman wants to take kids away from the ex-husband, she just has to say, hey, let's just go talk to the judge. And this is about the court systems in general. The way it works is there's a motion that the judge or the ex-wife's attorney, they basically bring these minor children in, 5, 6, 7, 8, however old they are, 9, 10, however old these kids are. And this is the way it works everywhere. And the judge, just a picture walking in, and the judge is going to ask you a question. Which parent do you want to live with? Okay. Well, let me just put a little hashtag here. Like, what age legally do we require for minors to make their decisions? 18. But in the civil system, a child can be 8, 9, 5, 8, and all he or she has to do is say, I want to live with my mom. And at that point, the man will lose all access, which I think is just basically stupid and wrong, but that's the way the system is. So in order to prevent my minor children from making the parental decisions, I had to opt for a jury trial. And this is where it gets fun, because I'm not an attorney. I'm a pro se litigant. My attorney fired me, and then boom, I'm fighting for my kids. And here's the thing is, when women fight for their kids, it's noble, but when a man does it, holy shit. So in my trial, because I think like most of the people there knew I think it was like 52%. I have the transcript. I don't know the exact number, but most of the people in my jury either knew my ex-wife, because it's a small town, knew my ex-wife or the powers that be. And I'm like, wait, like 52% of the people that are supposed to make the decision know my ex-wife? Wow. Okay, well, let's just pretend that's fair. But all right, let's just roll with it, because I got a man bun, and I'm not a lawyer. I'm a pro se litigant. What the fuck is a pro se litigant? What is Texas 2503, and is it really important? Yes, it is. It's one of the most important laws in Texas. All right, so where am I going? You're like, fuck, you better like hurry up. Well, like here's, for example, this is a text I got from my ex-wife. She just denying me access. Well, and I put up with this shit for 3 or 4 years. Then finally she pulled a big dog out. So we finally have a jury trial. A juror jumped up. Listen to this. A juror jumped up to cross-examine me and provide testimony. And I don't know a lot of shit. There's a lot of things I don't know. I know I have a First Amendment. But I'm like, I don't think that's fair. A juror jumps up and like, hey, I want to come to the rescue of this little princess. And I said, no, mistrial. I think I might have asked for a mistrial. I mean, because I don't think jurors are supposed to jump up, but that's just me. And I'm not, what the fuck am I in? And then we're going to talk about interlocutory orders and, oh yeah, this is real interesting. You're like, okay, who's Emmett Till? Once I fought back, once I started like, no. They started amending this petition. And it was like amended and amended and amended and amended. Ultimately 5 times. I finally asked my ex-wife's attorney. I said, okay, The initial reason that you wanted to bring this trial was because you wanted more insurance money. Now we have amended it 5 times. When you have a petition that's amended 5 times, that's just a man that's fucking fighting for his rights. And it's real interesting. The more I fought, the more I lost. But here's the thing. I've lost my trial. And I might have lost my children. Again, what happens to me has happened to hundreds of thousands of people. Just go on Facebook, look at Texas Fathers' Rights. There's like 60,000 people that are bitching. They're not really entertaining their First Amendments like I am. I don't want to bitch. I want to help the system, and I want to educate people what the fuck happens in civil trials. But I want to show it. I want to show that a woman can walk in and go, I just want to remove his access, and I think he's really bad. And then guess what? It's not fun and jokes. A man could lose everything. He can become homeless. He can lose a business. And more importantly, the children lose fathers. But in the civil system, men, and this is so important, in the civil system as it stands in America, when you go into the civil system, if you're a man, from the beginning, the assumption is you are a perpetrator, that you are a villain. You don't come into the civil system as a man with equality. From the jump, from the beginning, the assumption is she's the victim and you're the bad guy. And that's just 30 years of feminazism. You know, I mean, look culturally right now. I mean, when people want to get rid of a man, what do they really do? I mean, it's all over the news. And I want to train your MRA ear to go, what is this fucking MRA ear? What the fuck is this? When a system or a man wants, or excuse me, when a system, a business, a news anchor, an ex-wife, a school, when they want to get rid of a man and they can't figure out how to do it, they go to the civil or criminal system and they raise a finger of scorn and they accuse him of things. Like, for example, in Lubbock, Texas, Mike Leach. Mike Leach is one of the best coaches that's ever happened to Texas Tech. And I don't even like Texas Tech, but I love Mike Leach. How did they get rid of Mike Leach? Ultimately, Google it. It should be the next 30 by 30. In fact, I'm kind of a wannabe newbie documentary. Here I'm on YouTube, playing my songs, got my interlocutory orders, my Fifth Amendment petitions, talking about Texas 2503, talking about jurors jumping up, even showing you psych reports. Because why? I want to show it to you. I want to show you. And guys, I just want my fucking 2503 trial. This is from my daughter. She goes, Daddy, with lots of love. She drew me a picture. Oh, who's Emmett Till? Oh. This is going to get sad. Get ready. You're like, fuck, better not get sad. Because I'm scared for my son. I mean, his ex-wife's a cunt too. Well, good. Google Texas 2503. Who is Emmett Till? Or Emmett Tillman? I'll put him on my Twitter. Go to Twitter at Fibonacci. This is kind of the inspiration for this. In fact, Emmett Till, he was a little boy. He's 14 years old, Mississippi. And he did the unthinkable. Little 14-year-old black boy. Beautiful. You know how much I love black people. Beautiful black little boy. And he's 14 years old, Mississippi. What happened? He flirted with a white girl. 14 years old. Said something. It's a very interesting story. They tortured and killed that little black boy. And that story and what happened in his court, it's criminal. I mean, it's unthinkable that they would allow. Not only was he was not just killed, he was tortured, and then the court system high-fived his tormentor's behavior. It's a really sad story, but you know what that mama did? That black mama? Mama, don't mess with black women. That mama's like, well, I guess we're gonna just bury this little nigga. And that mama's like, nah, you're not burying this nigga. We're going to have an open casket. You know why that mama said that? Because that mama said, nobody's going to torture my kids. Nobody's going to torture my kids and beat their fucking faces like that without it being shown to the world And then another woman named Rosa Parks saw that picture in the casket of that tortured 14-year-old boy that was fucking tortured because he fucking winked or said something sweet or flirtatious to a white woman in Mississippi. And because of that open casket, Rosa Parks, and then a guy named Martin Luther King, and I have a dream. So I'm going to show you the casket of what happens in a civil case. I'm going to show you what a limine is. I'm going to show you how a limine, in my opinion, are inherently unconstitutional. I'm going to show you how local police people don't enforce laws, don't enforce men's rights, and how on the police level as well as the lawyer level, we have a modern day fucking Holocaust. All right. Let's go, baby. Let's roll, baby. Holla. Coming. Because, you ever see those KKK meetings? They always wear those fucking hoods. You know why they wear those hoods? Because evil does not want to be seen. Evil's like, fuck this, man. Nobody's going to see this stuff. We're going to put a hoods on. You know what I'm going to do? I'm like, all right, nigga. First Amendment. First fucking Amendment. You want to play the games and take my children legally? I can't stop you. But Jesus says, all right, this little holla nigga is going to be a holla nigga. And he has the First Amendment. He's going to tell his story. Because my hope is that other men will see this and go, holy shit. My hope is even mothers will see this like, holy shit, my son's works at a high school. He needs to know that once accusations are levied, that could be a four-year problem for him. Even if they're false, and they usually are. We're going to look at police people. I'm going to try to interview the Rice Monkey. I'm going to interview Skinner. I'm going to interview my old attorney. Tina Riccone's. I'm going to interview Anna McKim. Of course, a lot of these people aren't going to cooperate because they don't want the system to be seen. It's too profitable. Then I'm going to talk about 2503 and all the people that I need to talk about. All right, guys. You guys be good. Email me, Americano417@gmail.com. Tweet me at Fibonacci. You're like, oh my goodness, he's so dramatic. It's real weird? You go up to like a mall or like a grocery store and you take a woman's, just go walk up to a woman and try to take her kid. She'll go fucking ape on you. But yet when men do that, like, well, technically, legally, I have to be compliant to your feminine estrogen because I want you to understand that I totally understand the way this Fibonacci sounds. Like, if I even stand up for my kids, they're going to say that I have mental problems. No, he just has the fucking First Amendment. He loves his children. You're like, oh shit, he's one of those. You guys be good.